Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Massive games going down last night. 100T secure their qualification spot through to the playoffs after a big win against 2G. Boostio finally puts a good map performance on the board, but the big drama really was around GE Juvenile, the 12-month disqualification that happened just a few days ago. Right now come out with their official statements and confirmation on the matter, and it's far worse than many of us even thought. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Starting here, this is Fnatic signing Prod. Now, this is confusing to many, right? Because Prod, as entertaining of a character as he can sometimes be, it does not seem on paper to be the perfect fit for the type of organisation that Fnatic are. There was even discussion here. Well, Prod obviously says, glad to join as the 6th man and 2nd American to the roster. I'll be ready to sub myself in at any moment. And, but as Cosmic Devon says, I kind of, I get his perspective, right? Because Fnatic's brand, especially in Valorant, is built off, let's say, Boaster's personality. Likeable character, fun, quirky, whatever, right? Pred doesn't necessarily fit the bill. And maybe that's okay, right? I mean, we saw the other day, Leviathan, they picked up Curry as a content creator, and they've been getting some backlash for that from the Latin American fans, saying this doesn't really fit the bill. And it was kind of the same story with Fnatic yesterday. Now, the reason why this is happening, I'm not 100% sure. It may be related to the Esports World Cup and some of those associated factors, because we've seen quite a lot of this over the last few days. Teams picking up content creators at around about this time. We know that these teams are partnered with the Esports World Cup. There are some sort of metrics, I imagine, that they consider when it comes to engagement, and it's possibly one of the reasons why we're seeing this move from teams such as Fnatic, but it was certainly a controversial one at that. But let's dive into this. So, Preston Juvenile Dornan, as we know, he was banned the other day, and look, I'm not going to go through every single piece of evidence and timeline that they go through here, but obviously it's worth just scrolling through if you guys would like to read it and exactly which rules that he has breached effectively in the way that Riot see it. 4.1 and 5.11, the ruling they've come up to, the reasoning they've come up with as well on the matter, in addition to the sanction that is involved as well. The TLDR is as follows. Riot Games completed an investigation into potential breaches of the Riot Games Esports Global Code of Conduct, 4.1 general obligations, and 5.11, as we saw, Juvenile sent direct messages to over 60 individuals on social media. Many of these messages went unanswered. And just to quickly comment on this, there was some further discussion that, 60 individuals came forward to say, Juvenile messaged me something that, look, and even if the things that he messaged them, some of them we saw the screenshots last time were pretty outrageous, but it's just the general concept, and we'll have a look at the articles in a second that he's breached in terms of why this is clearly not okay. But 60 individuals came forward to Riot and effectively said, he messaged me. More, I'm sure, have not said anything, right? That's the general feeling anyway. So many of these messages went unanswered, included invitations to meet, suggestive or potentially inappropriate content, and references to Riot Games' venue, raising concerns regarding blurred personal and professional boundaries. Aggravating factors include the volume and persistence of these messages, contact with at least one individual who identified as a minor. So, it can't get too much worse. Juvenile, people are saying he lived up to his name or whatever, right? But, his position as a head coach, an overall lack of duty of care regarding online safety. As a result, Juvenile suspended from all competitions for 12 months, effective when this first came out a week or so ago, and is required to complete an executive training on conduct, respect, and professionalism prior to re-entry into the ecosystem, right? So, it's got a 12-month ban. These are the rules, of course. Pretty much the TLDR gave a decent assessment on what happened there. So, and GA, of course, have got rid of him as well. It's not like it's, global esports, it's fine, just sit the year out, Preston, you'll be back next year, all good. No, he's obviously been kicked from global esports. They've done their conversations on it, and even if he comes back after 12 months and is available to compete again and become a coach again, I think that there are certainly some organizations that will, it might be as good as a lifetime ban on some. I don't know which organizations are going to be like, sounds great guy, come on in, let's become part of our team again, congrats Juvenile, our new head coach. I don't really see that happening, because Chet's got banned, but he didn't get banned for anything of this kind of descript, so him coming back in was no real surprise. In this case, it possibly would be. So anyway, that's the update for you guys on that. Quick update around the world. This is the Chinese region, and we're seeing some interesting games happening there, especially this one, DRG versus Tyloo. A big 2-1 win for Tyloo gets them to 1-4 and puts DRG bit of a tricky spot. I mean, look, they're fine for now. But if FPX were to win and get to 3-2, DRG actually lose the head-to-head tiebreaker with Titan Esports Club if they were to be in that position as well. So yeah, it gets pretty technical in Group Alpha. And in Group B, we do have a series just underway. Wolves are playing All Gamers. This is actually going potentially down to the wire. But yeah, unfortunately, All Gamers, well, the game isn't over yet, right? But it would be a classic All Gamers to show a bit of promise and then lose anyway. They've had a pretty rough time. But at least Tyloo got a win for them on the board. In the Pacific, we've also got some interesting games. This, I think, is just now concluded. Yeah, Nongchim took the win 2-0 against Team Secret. Big win for them. Again, Team Secrets continue just to be very lackluster and underwhelming. 13-10, 13-3 in the end on their map pick on the split. So they go down, and then we've got the other game, of course, on the other side, DRX versus Boom Esports, and this is shaping up to be real interesting. The Icebox has gone 13-8 in favour of Boom Esports. What a showing this has been over the last couple of weeks for them. The progress that they've made. Okay, I mean, that was DRX's map pick as well there on the Icebox. Not like it massively matters for DRX, they're still leading the group anyway, but this is the battle for the first seed, effectively. DRX versus Boom Esports, and right now, that is a clinic that they put on the game one. So we'll talk about that, of course, in due course as well. These are how the groups look over there for now. Paper Exit's not completely done and dusted yet, but they have some big games against DFM and GE coming up very shortly. In EMEA, we had two big games yesterday. Fnatic took down Apex 2-0, and KC took down M80 2-0, or M8, sorry, like Gentlemates, not M80, always confusing. Pretty big loss for Gentlemates, really. I mean, given the kind of context of that, with Kamek coming in recently, you know, Zaipan and all those guys over there to go down 2-0 to KC. Big win for KC. Sure, they now sit themselves top of the group, so maybe a bit of a redemption arc for them. Fnatic continue to advance to the top of their group. Apex and Giant X look like, as we expected really, to be the two teams not making it through to the playoffs in Europe. We had some big games though in North America, especially 100T getting back in action last night, and well, we'll see that result in a second. The first one was this, a G2 versus Leviathan. This was a really important game for both teams, obviously, but I think it's potentially kind of an exciting feature for Lev, just that they were at least competitive. This wasn't a complete bloodbath, as many of us expected it, frankly, to be. They've obviously made the change with Rossi coming in, and to be fair, there were moments in this series where Demon 1 showed glimpses of being, you know, 2023 Demon 1 all over again. So, you know, he's on the Brimstone, on the Jet, on the Neon, right, against one of the very best teams in the entire world. But unfortunately for Lev, Trent is just a bit too good. The final map, we certainly saw that on the Haven, on the Tejo, and there wasn't really much they could do. But it was the Fracture, kind of, you know, some moments here on the Brimstone from Demon 1, certainly on their defensive side, which are pretty impressive. And the latest, we saw a bit of it too as well here with Demon 1, but eventually they did go down. At the Fracture, they did win 13-11, which was really impressive from Lev, to be fair, to even get a map on the board here. But of course, one map is not necessarily enough, and this confirms G2 to be the absolute top seed, or they could potentially still be second seeds, but pretty much they're going to be right there for the seeding. And as Rossi says, grateful and blessed to have this team. We came from looking like complete bums to a competent team. Give us more time and we'll make it happen, right? So we'll see if Lev can keep turning it around, but yesterday was It was a loss, but it was better than we had seen previously. 2G versus 100T was critical last night as well, and this was such a massive round here from Cryo. I mean, have a look at I don't really know what they're doing, to be fair, these lads, but they do just all go down and Cryo kills every single one. Big round, right? Because to get to 10-11 there, eventually take the map and eventually take the series was big because, I mean, 2G, for all the drama, they got rid of Zap, or Zap got rid of himself, or there was some issue. The team obviously has some talent on it, and they've been better anyway since that happens. But Boostio, can you believe it? After a few weeks now of not playing especially well, I know it's against 2G, so it is what it is, but Boostio gets one, and he's here with the Sheriff, and he actually just, like, has an absolute masterclass. I mean, look at this, 1-2, and he closes out the round as well with the final kill under silence. So, yeah, nice game for Boostio, really, and again, a pretty critical round, because after winning the game one, they're down 3-0 on the Icebox, and Boostio comes up with a big round. So, two crucial Sheriff moments from Crow and Boostio that really turns the tide to the series, and after that round, it was then a 13-6 for 100T. The game one was a 15-13 banger overtime. Crow was 30-18 for the win. So, you know, 2G looking better, like, fundamentally, which is kind of strange, given they got rid of their in-game leader in controversial circumstances. but they at least played well enough 100T to get over the line. 2-0 versus 2G. I think we made playoffs, and I believe that is now effectively confirmed. So, playoffs isn't everything. You want to have a good seed for the playoffs if you can. Of course, Boostio has talked about it as well. He's back, no longer a pig and all this stuff. And this is the way that it looks right now in the Americas. So 100T at 3-1, yeah, that's no problem at all. They've made the playoffs absolutely guaranteed. Their final game is against Crew, which is potentially battle for the first seed over there, although Sentinels may have something to say about that as well. G2 are 4-0. Potentially C9 could take it away from them, but it's pretty unlikely that that number one seed is going to go anywhere else. The big question for many really is about NRG, because NRG, of course, got beaten by G2. They got beaten by Cloud9, and they got 2-0 smoked by G2 really, and now Liv are putting up a bit of a better fight, so it's kind of confusing. Of course, the big games are Furia, C9, and Sen and Loud this evening. Loud can still potentially make it as well. It's not impossible. No names available. Did a bit of analysis here to say that, G2 and C9 can potentially do it. MIBR it's possible too, but pretty unlikely. Lev can still get fourth if they win against NRG. So that's the big result, right? And that's the key feature to note in Group A, or Group Omega, sorry. And as you can see at the bottom here, it's the final game, Lev versus NRG. That will effectively determine who makes it through, because Fury are likely to be cooked. I think, in fact, they are for sure guaranteed. They can't make it anymore. So NRG Lev, that one series is just the crucial series. And whoever loses it, it's time to blow it up, I think. Those rosters will not be long for this world. So very much interested in your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.